not to be? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Some of literature's most celebrated lines quoted from William Shakespeare's work in Hamlet, Sonnet 18, and Romeo and Juliet. Shakespeare is known to all of us here today. In school, we were able to learn about many of his different plays and got to understand a little bit more underneath the surface. Some hate learning about William Shakespeare, some don't mind, and there are a rare few that find too much of a passion for it. I am one of those students who would go home and research and try to find deeper meanings behind his plays, such as Hamlet. I actually controlled debates in class as well, with questioning whether Macbeth was a tragic hero or not. So studying the characters, breaking down the surface, showed me a new passion. Today I'm going to be talking about Shakespeare's life story, entrepreneurship, and major works with everyone here today. With you hearing his life, we are only reminded he is only but a man. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon, England, and quoted from Park Conan in Shakespeare Alive. He states that Shakespeare was the third child of 8 in his family growing up. And as well, later on, he married a woman named Anne Hathaway, and they would have 3 children, Susanna, Hamnet, and Judith. Now, at age 11, his son Hamnet passed away, and with Sonnet 18, that brings into my question, many questions surround his Sonnet 18, questioning if he was talking about a man. But I was actually curious if he was actually talking about his son. Maybe not a man, but maybe a boy, and his love for him. Now, William later on down the line moved to London and pursued his acting career in 1591. Along with acting, he wrote sonnets and plays, and as well, according to Columbia College, it states that he was a leading member of one of the most prominent London theatre companies, the Lord Chamberlain's Men, with whom he worked and grew prosperous for the rest of his career. Now, in the year 1616, William Shakespeare passed away. Though he can be seen as a great artist, he can also be seen as a great businessman. Quoted from Lee Jamieson, information from historical archives actually point to Shakespeare being a shrewd and ruthless businessman. The theater's financial success, combined with Elizabeth I's enjoyment of the plays, pushed forward the Shakespeare's Globe Theater, and was able to grow prosperous and grow financially. According to Peter Chaldeau, the original Globe Theater accommodated 3,000 people, and commoners would pay a penny, and they would be able to stand on the ground, and for the wealthy, they would pay 6 pennies to actually be seated in a cushioned seat. So William Shakespeare knew how to make a penny or two. Shakespeare also part-owned a London theater and production company back in his hometown as well. He invested widely in land and property, and he also invested his time in selling grain. So he was able to invest his money in different things as well, just as we still do today, especially in real estate. By the time Shakespeare died in 1616, he was a very wealthy man, and in today's standards, he would be a nice and settled down millionaire. As well, with him being this KV businessman, his passion for literature was still there, and it can be shown and passed on through many years that we still have his work, and we're still holding on to his work. As William Shakespeare is regarded as one of the greatest writers in English language, it comes as no surprise that his works, plays, and sonnets and narrative poems are popular around the globe, still to this day. Shakespeare's plays can be broken down into 3 parts: tragedies, histories, and comedies. His tragedies are widely thought to be some of the greatest ever published, and I have to agree. Whether you're a high schooler or a scholar, you're reading Shakespeare. So Shakespeare can be read from no matter what age or what your background is. As well, many different translations or language translations are being spread throughout the globe. Macbeth takes on, one of his tragic plays, takes on a dark side of Shakespeare's plays. Quoted from the most popular Shakespeare's work, it states, "It investigates the corrupting effects of ambition and power, following the disastrous career of the Scottish Lord Macbeth, who uses murder to gain and retain the crown." As well, Hamlet is one of his most influential plays in the tragedy genre. Now, it was written in the English language, exploring themes of revenge, moral corruption, and treachery. Romeo and Juliet portrays his often told tale of star-crossed lovers from feuding families who kill themselves for love in an attempt to regain their family's reconciliation. Now, modern movies today use Shakespeare's work in many different ways. Almost everything that we can see, we can be quoted from Shakespeare, such as In a Pickle, as well. Now, some of his movies that we use in our movies, or some of his plays that we use in our movies today, can be noted with The Lion King, which is based on Hamlet, 10 Things I Hate About You, which is based on The Taming of the Shrew, and West Side Story, which is based off of Romeo and Juliet. William Shakespeare himself lives through his major works and continues to grow throughout languages. Shakespeare is still alive with the world and with us today, knowing parts of his life, business, and famous works. Don't be afraid of Shakespeare. Shakespeare surrounds us. So the question is, why after 400 years is he still alive? Thank you.